Hey there everyone, Tyler Pyburn here of the Pulse Network, here with a conversation leading up to the 2012 NAB show. And we're doing that with Mark Taylor of Level 3 Communications. And Mark, let's talk about the shift in technology in particular. What are some of the technology shifts that enable, content providers and creators, if you will, to become more nimble, if you will, when we're addressing some of the evolving, if you will, consumer preferences?
Yeah, I think there's three areas in particular, right through the production workflow. The first one is really the digitization of the initial workflow in terms of the creation of the programming distribution, the channel distribution, based on digital workflows. That's been evolving for a time, but is really now also moving into more of a cloud environment. So no longer are broadcasters building those capabilities solely in-house. They're making use of the kind of adaptive compute platforms that exist, more generally and on a consumption basis. Secondly, I think that the actual distribution itself, we've talked about this before, the adaptive bitrate streaming technology has really become prevalent and is starting to move to be more of a standards-based approach rather than it being purely proprietary. Still a ways to go, but that's certainly making a difference. And then finally, the ability to rewrap content on the fly rather than re-encode libraries multiple times. So, whether it's the content is to be the same asset is to be delivered on an iPad versus a set-top box, doing that as part of the network delivery rather than having two assets in the first place. It's all aimed at simplifying things, improving the quality, and making the whole experience much more flexible, certainly from the broadcaster's perspective.
Now, we obviously talk about all the good things that come out of this, but what about some of the inhibitors to this model? Because there are a few.
The biggest inhibitor, frankly, is as I mentioned, the kind of standards evolution. There are still a lot of proprietary technologies and formats and flavors of everything. And there are an ever-increasing plethora of end consumer devices, which the broadcasters need to keep up with. And it's, on one hand, things are simplifying, but on the other hand, other things are getting more complicated.
He is Mark Taylor of Level 3 Communications. I am Tyler Pyburn of the Pulse Network. I want to thank you guys at home so very much for being part of our conversation leading up to the 2012 NAB show.